Hi, this is Crystal. And as you know, tonight is full moon. Actually, the full moon is about 3 a.m. our time, Central Time. But we have to do the spell between 11:30 and 1:41 because after that the moon goes void. And for this spell, you want to start after midnight because you want to work with the Venus energy that's on Friday because Venus rules Friday. And Cancer influence from the sun is a really good spell to do for families. But it also does lend influence for finding a good mate, a mate that we might want to have a family with. So, this spell can be done on this Friday. Again, it's very important that you do it between midnight and 1:41 a.m. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is that when you're looking for a mate, you want somebody who loves you as much as you love them. It should be about equality and balance, which this particular moon is also about justice, as we talked about earlier. So when you do this spell, I want you to think about if you were running an ad in a newspaper, what kind of ad would you put in looking for somebody to share your life with? If you wanted to hire somebody to work for your business, would you settle for anything less than what you wanted? You know, of course not. You wouldn't risk your business, so why would you risk your life? Um, Not to say that just and I just want to back up a little bit because some of us may be getting rid of relationships also under this moon. So don't feel bad if you hired the wrong person. We've all been there. All of us have done that. But people grow and they grow in different directions. We learn from those experiences, and every relationship has um, things that it teaches us. It teaches us what we want, what we don't want. We share life experiences with this person, but sometimes it's just time to move on, and that's okay too. And we want to wish them well. So sometimes when we do a love spell, maybe we've just ended a relationship. It's not a bad idea to wish that other person that they find somebody that's an equal match to them, or as my grandma used to say, equally yoked. Okay. So when you do this love spell, write down as if you were going to run an ad in a newspaper, and you're looking for your twin soul or your soulmate, depending on what it is in particular that you're looking for. And you want 2 red candles for your altar. Use lavender oil to anoint them. Again, you want parchment paper, and this time you're going to use red ink. A couple of lodge stones, which is for attraction. If you don't have lodge stones, magnets will work. Okay, a red stone, such as, or a pink stone, such as a rose quartz, or a bloodstone will also work. Okay, or cornelian will work. And then love incense, Venus incense, or you may make incense out of a combination of the herbs of bloodroot, caraway, cherry bark, cinnamon, osiris root, rose hips, roses, snake root, vervain. All are really good for making a mixture of incense and to be burned over charcoal if you don't have a regular incense for Venus or for love. And then a red flannel drawstring. Now, in the drawstring, you're actually going to put the ad, okay, inside of the pouch, and you're actually going to put it underneath your bed, okay. And you need to put it underneath your bed in a little box. Decorate it if you want. Big heart on it if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. Be a little bit whimsical. Um, and you can put the stones in the box with the spell, but you're going to do this all at the end, okay? So, and the talisman of Venus are good talismans to use. Now, there are different talismans for each planet, but the fourth and fifth talisman of Venus works really good for this. But you may decorate the top of the box on the inside as well as the outside with these talismans. And you can find them again on the internet. You can print them off the internet, tape them on there. But I also recommend that you carry these talismans hid somewhere on your body um, for at least about 3 or 4 days, and just think about love being brought to you. Because the more open we are to love, the more apt we are to get it. So you want to be approachable. Be smart, but be approachable. Okay. So after you have all these things and you write out what it is that you want, the Venus energy is what we're going to be working with. So we want to call on the goddess Venus for this particular spell. We can use Aphrodite if you like. You can use Eros, Cupid, any of the gods or goddesses of love. We also can call on Gabrielle. But let's work with Venus. So here's the incantation for Venus. Star of Venus, stars above, bring two souls together in love. In perfect love and in perfect trust, seal this bond between us. Magnetic stones and sands of time, I am his and she is mine. Of course, you may switch them around depending on what you need. Venus brings you to me, bound in the love we both deserve to feel. This celebration of each other is now made real. Venus brings you to me. And again, talk about what it is that you want in this mate. Now, I'm going a little warning here. You should never use a person's name to bring them to you because you're messing with free will, and you shouldn't do that. So, as you say this, when you get to this point, say what it is that you want. Say, Mighty Venus, this is the characteristics that I want, okay, in a mate. And then when you're done, say, he or she is now drawn to me by the stars of Venus, so mote it be. And that would be your Venus talismans that you'd be anointing your box with. Place the box underneath your bed and leave it underneath your bed until you have a mate drawn to you. When you're satisfied with the mate that you have, then you will remove the box, and you may do with it as you wish. I particularly put mine in a hope chest, just in case. But anyway, blessings, and I'm glad that everybody is watching tonight. And get out there and see that moon and wish for love, wish for new experiences, and clean house. Blessings, and have a great night.